Melanie Fox in New York.
I didn't get to hear who I look like, but I was told the middle Hanson twin.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Of the Hanson three boys, I look like the middle one. Okay. So I keep changing my question in my mind as you talk. I'm getting very inspired, but I'll say, so I went through an odd medical crisis, but it was one of those things where they diagnosed it and it was not going to get worse. It might get better. But my mom recently, in recent history, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And her first thing is, don't Google it. Don't Google it. Don't look at it. Stop mentioning it. I'm going to, I'm going to be good, but less information is more. And because she didn't want to think of the negative thoughts. And it reminded me of what you said, that you've got, had these horrible diagnoses. But you were a kid, so they could kind of sounded like almost like a Life is Beautiful situation where you didn't exactly know what was going on. And as a kid, you kind of have the, bliss of some ignorance. But as an adult, what do you think about like the balance of looking something up, understanding everything and researching versus just kind of having this naivety where you can say like, yes, I'm going to be the one who, or I'm going to be moving forward no matter what, and this medical diagnosis is not going to stop me. I'm not going to let stats get in my head.
I thank you for the question. I love that. And it went a completely different direction where I thought you were going one way and I was like, I'm following, and then you went somewhere else. I'm like, we can create something. So I love that. I think, first of all, it depends on your personality type, depends on your mindset, and depends on how you interpret things as an individual. So for me, let's say I was climbing Everest. Well, I did. So let's say I was climbing Everest. I knew thousands of things could go wrong. I knew there were crevasses I could fall into. I knew there were avalanches. I knew I could lose some friends on the mountain, and I did. Going into that situation, I pictured, before I even got there, I pictured how I would deal with that before I even arrived. So that way there are these, say, 10 different scenarios of how I would deal with it if it happened. I wouldn't focus on it, but if it happened, I was prepared. Then I shifted my mindset back over to, hey, this is what I'm going to focus on. I've already dealt with the bad, negative, not so great things that could happen, but in my mind, I've already dealt with them. So I'm done. And if they happen, I know how to react. It's just like being, I would say, like a paramedic. You know all these things that could potentially go wrong. You're in an ambulance, something happens. Okay, well, somebody has a broken arm. What are you going to do? This, done. But you're hoping when I get there, everything's going to be okay. So I think it depends. But for me, I deal with it before, and if it ever happens, I'm prepared. Hopefully it never will, but I'm prepared if it does happen. However, in the meantime, I have the blinders on, and right there's my goal. That's where I'm going.
That's so wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and you can do the same thing every day you wake up.